Hello, and welcome to the Flying Cat Marketing interview series. Today I have Carla Chicharro as a guest, who is from Lodgify. She is the marketing manager and also here in Barcelona, but we have yet to meet officially in person. We've just known each other through LinkedIn so far, but thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on because I've been really into Lodgify's content strategy. You guys do it really well. So I'm really glad to have you on so that we can pick your brain and see what you guys are doing at Lodgify. So you have been with Lodgify for 4 years, right?
Yes, exactly. I've actually been there from the beginning of the content team. So it was just me and another colleague who was a copywriter. And yeah, both of us were just there and we're like, you're now in charge of doing the content. And we're like, but wait, there's nothing? Mm, some articles, but yeah, so we had to start everything from scratch. So
And
yeah,
it
four
was just
years.
you two like just completely in charge of the strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So in the beginning, our CEO, so this is something that I want to say, like, we're very lucky at Logify to have like our C-level team. Um, they believe a lot in inbound and content marketing. And that allows us to do different things and it allows us to go a bit crazy as well, because they really believe in the value of it. So yeah, in the beginning of times in the content team, it was just a colleague and she was a copywriter. I was more doing the strategy, but then in the beginning I was also writing, of course. And the person that would would approve our articles was the CEO. So we would have to send him like a strategy document where we say like, this is what we want to write about, these are the keywords, this is why we want to write it, like a whole strategy document, and he would approve or he would say like maybe add this and that. So yeah, in the beginning it was very intense already.
cool. How many people are in the team now in the content team?
Yeah, so now we're 5 people.
Okay, cool. And you're the head of it.
Exactly.
So what are the roles within the team?
So right now, sorry, I said 5, but we're 4. We
Okay.
were 5 at one point. Right now we have a SEO specialist and 2 copywriters. So we
Okay.
have a copywriter for the English market. So English, when I say English, is the English content, not UK, US,
Mhm.
that, and Spanish. Mm-hmm. And then like the other, because we also have content in different languages, so we also have it in Italian, French, and German. In the past we did have copywriters in house, but now we've externalized it with freelancers.
Okay.
So
Why did you guys make that change?
well, first of all, because yeah, changes in the company really, but also because we we had to cut resources. That's
Okay.
basically the
Yeah.
the explanation. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. So you guys have a pretty robust content strategy. I think a few weeks ago I did a little bit of breakdown of Lodgify's content strategy on LinkedIn, and I really like how
Mm-hmm.
you have this bottom of the funnel approach and you're targeting different kind of customer avatars. So tell me a little bit about how you guys plan out the content strategy and how you implement it.
Right. So, like I said, like in the beginning, it was a bit different. Besides doing the whole strategy document, once we were able to a bit more independent and work on our own, what we were doing is that we were dividing our content by funnels.
Okay.
So we would do tofu, mofu, and bofu. Tofu being like, yeah, very top of the funnel. So things like Airbnb stuff and all that, or tips that could even be helpful for like small hotels, which aren't our main target audience. And then we had MOFU and BOFU. So with that, We divided it in percentages. So we're like, okay, so we know we want to write, I don't know, I don't remember, but like around 10 blog posts a month. So 30% of them will be TOFU, 40 MOFU, and 30 BOFU. And that's how we structured our content. So I'm basically explaining this because a lot of the content that we have now is basically from 2016 and 17. So in the beginning, we spent a lot of time writing. Most of our content to this day is from back then. So like around 60% of our monthly traffic are from those blog posts, because we really we ran an extensive keyword research. We looked through a lot of forums, read around like a lot of blogs, and we also looked at other SaaS blogs. So for example, Shopify is a great example, and they have a lot of good content. And yeah, it's a different industry, but in the end, they're also a website builder, like one of the features that Lodgify has. So there could be some things that could be adapted to our target audience, right? So yeah, that's the whole thing that we did in the beginning. Now what we're doing, and we focused a lot on quantity. So a lot of content, a lot of blog posts. We also created the vacation rental guide, where we had very top of the funnel keywords. So just an example, Airbnb owner login. We had that in a page, and we explained like how to log in and all that. Yeah, a lot of those. And of course, ebooks, templates, and all that. What we're doing now is that we still have a very like a process in place where we still do like monthly editorial calendar meetings. We still brainstorm together and all that, but we focus a bit more on the quality.
Okay.
So we're now at a position where we can look through like what has performed well in the past. So and it's still bringing us results, and what can we do to make it better, right? So because just to give you an example, house rules. It's a blog post that can be useful for lots of owners, and other competitors can come in and say like, "Ooh, this is working out for them. I'm gonna write something about it as well." So yeah, you always have to be on the lookout, and that's really what we look into.
Okay, so before you were writing 10 blog posts a month, and now what are you guys doing? I guess a lot of the process now is going back and like re-optimizing old blog posts.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. In the beginning, it was a lot of new content, of course, because we didn't have anything. So it was all new. Now what we do is, I would say 50% is new, 50% is optimizing. So we look through like what we can improve, and we optimize it every month.
And how do you guys find what to improve?
So, I mean, we have the top performing blog posts, and we track them like every day. Mostly, if we see something go down, we're already like panicking, like, no, we lost one position. So we keep an eye on them, just because these are the ones that not just bring us traffic, but also conversions. They bring us leads. So those we have them tracked on SEMrush, and yeah, we're always there looking at them. But of course, like when you've optimized them so much, like there's so much you can do, right? You also have to wait for it to perform. So what we do is, it's a mix of things. So we look on Search Console, we look at keywords that are probably we're on the 6th position or 7th, or sixth, 7th. So maybe we're on the 2nd page of Google. So we look at those and we see, okay, so we could, with just a little lift, we could go to the 1st page. So that's one of the strategies that we implement with optimizations.
So
sorry, just one thing, like there's some that can be updated every year, like for example, top lists.
Yeah.
So those are easy to update.
I find it interesting that this is also a strategy that I like to use with my clients, is saying, okay, so we see we're on the second page. There's stuff that we can do here. What I like normally, like I look through Google Search Console and I'm like, okay, what did this page get found for? Maybe I can re-implement some of these keywords into the H2s, for example. Or
Exactly.
maybe it's we've already done that, so maybe we need to drive links to it.
Yep.
So do
Yep.
you have anything other than that you guys do to re-optimize the posts?
Also, like on our end, yeah, we do that as well. But on our end, we also optimize for conversions.
Okay.
So yeah, in terms of traffic, yes, we do that. In terms of conversions, we have several opt-ins. And also we have several ebooks. So sometimes we're like, okay, this blog post performed really well in terms of traffic, but it's not bringing us any leads. So then that would be also an optimization, because we'd be like, okay, what's not working? It could be that the ebook is not related to the topic.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I'm gonna have to write it. So that's usually what happens.
And at Lodgify, do you guys define a lead as an email subscriber or as somebody who's started a free trial?
So
You guys have a trial,
yeah,
right?
yes, we do have. Well, we have different steps. In marketing, we track contacts, which would be an email subscriber. Then we have MQLs, which is a bit more qualified. There's different criteria, so I'm not even going to get into that, but it's, yeah. And then there's the trials. So those three we do track in marketing.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So I'm interested now in hearing about, I guess you guys have tried a lot of different things.
Yes.
Maybe you had some really great ideas and it turns out that it wasn't as great of an idea as you thought. What are some experiments that I'd like to hear, like your biggest failures, maybe not biggest failures, but ideas that you thought would work well and didn't. And then also, what are some cool achievements that you've had in Lodgify? So let's start with the first.
Let's start with the failures. Okay.
But those give you the greatest lessons in the end.
Yeah,
the failures are what let you achieve, like, succeed the most.
So I don't want to sound super cliche, but for us, like, we don't have a lot of failures because whenever we see that something is failing or it's not working too well, we always like optimize it at that time. So yeah. But and it also takes time, right? Organic channels take a lot of time. So it could be in the beginning you're like, oh no, it's failing, like it's not, there's no traffic at all, there's no one that's downloading anything. What am I going to do? You try to tweak it, and then it can be thanks to your tweaks, but it can also be that it's just been indexed longer and people are actually looking for it. So yeah. But yeah, if I were to say something, the Instagram channel, it's not really content, right? It's more social media, but we were super convinced in my team that Instagram was going to work and people were going to engage with us because it's visual and we can share even like our customer website templates or their vacation rentals. There's stuff that we can share, right? And no, it failed massively in the sense that it wasn't bringing us any, like, people were not engaging, no traffic and no conversions. And we even did like a Halloween, actually, yeah, it was a Halloween campaign, and we were giving away this was a subscription, a yearly subscription, one participant.
No. Well, I guess they won.
Yeah, that person won. We were like, oh, thanks to all the people that participated. In the end, it was just one.
I wonder why that is. I feel like, I mean, this is total speculation, but for some reason, I feel like Instagram is just not the best channel for SaaS.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Yeah. I don't think so.
I mean, it's good like to have a presence, I guess, but I have a suspicion that I think probably a lot of SaaS, at least B2B, like Lodgify is, is just not gonna find traction on Instagram.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, we also have to think about like our audience. They're business owners. They're also older, probably. Um, so if they use Instagram, it would be to promote maybe their business, but maybe not to engage with a
Yeah,
software, right? So
yeah.
yeah, the results were bad. So we're back to branding. It's for branding.
Yeah. Cool. So what about something that's worked really well for Lodgify?
Right. So I would say a success story with Lodgify is the vacation rental guide. Um, okay, so that was mainly for indirect keywords. So like I said earlier, like Airbnb owner login, that is the best piece of content that we've created ever. Not because of the content itself, but because we outranked Airbnb.
Oh my God.
Because Lodgify was the first position when you googled Airbnb owner login. So I would say that that's the most successful piece because we were getting a lot of leads from there and
Really?
traffic as well. Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting because I feel like Airbnb owner login, that's not, to me, that doesn't sound like such a high converting keyword, or it doesn't sound like it has an intent like I'm looking for a vacation rental
Yeah.
website builder or channel manager or whatever. So it's funny. How do you think that ended up bringing so many leads? Like, what do you think it was
We
about that piece?
Well, it was also I think because they were interested in knowing more. I mean, to be fair, they probably didn't know where they were. They probably thought they were in Airbnb. It could be. Even if we did have a disclaimer in red where it said we're not Airbnb, so we did add it. But what appealed to them maybe was the content because we were like offering them a guide. So like
Yeah.
they were like Airbnb owner login, Airbnb host guide. It could be that they're interested in knowing more of like how to improve their Airbnb account, for
Yeah,
example.
fair. Do you guys do any retargeting after they get, yeah, okay. That probably
Yeah,
helps as well.
exactly. And I mean, retargeting in terms of ads, we don't do it with the blog content or um, this TOFU kind of content, but we do lead nurturing. We do that a lot.
Okay.
So that's really how we got them in the end to convert because they come in looking to log in. Maybe they download the ebook, but then how do we get them to actually subscribe to a channel manager software, like everything? And it's through the lead nurturing because we send them a sequence of emails and we're like, this is what else we could do for you.
Mm-hmm. So when they actually log in, do you have, how many separate lead nurturing campaigns do you have going?
So before we had 10 million, we had one for each ebook, basically. Then in the last 2 years or so, we replaced them and we created one unique one for all content leads, basically. And we've learned from it as well. Like in the beginning, it was more offering them content, and we saw that was just giving them content, right? It wasn't bringing us leads. It was just
Okay.
bringing us traffic. So we were like, yeah, that's great, but we want conversions in the end at the end of the day. So we changed the lead nurturing and we're now more like about the product, like the benefits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does that look like? So somebody like they arrive from some content, they download an ebook,
Mm-hmm.
and now you don't use you don't use email to deliver more content, more blog content to them anymore?
We do use email. Well, I mean, to deliver content would be more than newsletter.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're separate. So if I download the ebook, I don't
Exactly.
get placed into your newsletter.
Exactly.
Okay, so the lead nurturing, if I download a piece of content, what does that look like then? how do you nurture me into becoming a free trial lead?
So yeah, it's a sequence of around 15 days. You don't get spammed 15 days straight, but there is like some days in between, of course. And the first email is more like high level the benefits of Lodgify, and also thanking you for downloading the content or having an interest in Lodgify. And we plug in the free trial link from the beginning, from that first email. Also, like when you download an ebook, you're sent automatically to a thank you page, and the thank you page already says start free trial. So we're very focused on conversions, basically conversion driven. And yeah, like the rest of the emails are, there's one about examples of customer websites. There's about the mobile app. There's different, it's all different. Depending on the days, you receive one about channel manager, maybe. Yeah.
And because you guys have several different features going on, right? So do you have like just a different email for each feature?
Not yet. Oh, well, yes. For each feature, we have a different email. Yes. What I said not yet because we are thinking about maybe segmenting these emails a bit more.
That was going to be my next question.
So we did try it out once, but it wasn't like, we didn't really track the data too well. So we want to try it again, where if someone comes from an Airbnb ebook, maybe they're interested in a channel manager feature. If they come from, I don't know, pricing or something like that, maybe they want a bit more like PMS, more accounting, those things. So we haven't tried it. We will. Okay.
And so you found that this works to get more conversions then?
Yes, exactly.
What was the difference?
Well, basically before lead nurturing, it would take ages. It would take 100 days maybe for them to eventually convert, if they convert. Because this is something that we're always fighting with the sales team, because they're like, can you please stop bringing me TOFU leads? And TOFU leads, I mean the people from the blog. And they're like, we have to, they have to talk to them too much. Like they need to be handheld. So yeah, that's why we have the sequences of emails too, to handhold them and teach them in case they would be interested in our product, right? But yeah, it's.
So at the end of the 15 days, then what happens?
Then we do subscribe them to the newsletter.
Okay. Yes. And if do you do any lead scoring? So for example, if they opened all of the emails from the 15, then somebody from sales follows up with them?
No, but that's a great idea. We don't do that. But we do have the MQL scoring more on like how do they interact on the website. So if they visited the pricing page, for example, more than 3 times, we give them some points.
Okay.
If they've given us their phone number, so they try to contact us or they schedule a demo, then we give them more points.
Okay. And how do you track them? Because what do you guys use for like once they get on the email, what newsletter tool do you use?
So we use, for everything, basically automation, we use HubSpot.
Okay. That's connected to Google Analytics, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. And for like our opt-ins, we use Opt-in Monster.
Okay.
And it's connected as well with HubSpot, because otherwise it would be a pain if we had to upload and download all the leads and all that.
Cool. Well, I guess that was your greatest, is that your greatest CRO lesson, the greatest conversion rate lesson, or?
Yeah, content upgrades. Definitely. That's the biggest thing. That's our major change in our content team. That's what made us grow massively. So yeah.
Oh, because you guys do have some gated content, don't you? Yeah.
Well, we got rid of like the gated, like locked, we got rid of it. And now we just have it there. So like it's in the
Okay.
beginning of the post. So it's not blocked, but you see it.
Okay. All right,
Mhm.
cool. Well, I'm going to leave it there because we're running out of time. This has been very insightful. I thank you so much, Carla, for your time. If people
No
want to
problem.
connect with you, what's the best place to find you?
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn, but you can also email me directly if you want. It's carla@lodgify.com.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much. And if you guys liked this episode, please share it. And get in touch with Carla if you want to learn more. And yeah, goodbye.